doubles that don't have anything to do with points, rebounds, and assists, and she has so many more weapons around her this year.
She makes her 40th start in a Purdue uniform tonight. You see what's around her now. Laisha Petrie leading them in scoring, transfer from Rutgers. Caitlin Harper, big addition down low. Deasia Fair on the opposite side for Syracuse. Another transfer leading the Orange in scoring this season. Our officials are Kevin Bethel, Maggie Tiemann, Felicia Grinzer. Getting set here in West Lafayette. Felicia Grinter lobs up, and off we go. Purdue the first possession, and a quick bucket to begin this one. And their leading scorer from a season ago, Madison Layden.
And Janae Terry already has an assist. I mean, she is going to stuff the stat sheet, rebounds, assists. She gets so involved, a pass-first point guard.
I think she heard you're open. There's the quick foul down low. It's like Dariana Lewis will head to the free throw line. They like to move at a quick pace if they can. This Purdue team moved the ball a lot better a season ago. That's continued this year. Facing some tough front court players from Syracuse. Dariana Lewis is one of them. She can score in bunches, averaging a double-double at the free throw line right now. Katie Gerald's on the Purdue sideline. It was so fun chatting with her earlier this morning. You see the 10-win jump from a season ago. In this group, it feels like a very tight-knit group once again this year.
Well, they love playing for her, and the offense is opened up, but they are concerned about what Syracuse can do. Syracuse came out against Penn State just a couple of games ago and had a great start, and then Penn State came back for a big win.
That is career three, number 170 for Cassidy Harden. And she'll tell you, she knows her role, she knows what she loves to do, and that's exactly it.
She knows to pull the trigger.
Laisha Petrie defending tightly out high. Tisha Hyman had her shot deflected down low. A little flip up from Georgia Woolley.
And that's Woolley's job. She is just getting back from injury this summer for Syracuse, and just her fourth game of the year.
Native of Brisbane, Australia. There's a key Australian on the Purdue side as well. Abby Ellis is coming off the bench again today. Fair's three is down. Deasia Fair, leading scorer for the Orange, transfer from Buffalo, came over with their head coach, Felicia Leggett-Jack. She is a lethal scorer.
Yeah, they've got 4 transfers that came over with Coach Leggett-Jack, and Woolley, one of them, feeding the ball to Fair.
Speaking of Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack, has history against Purdue. She's faced this group a number of times as a head coach. Back at her alma mater now. Came over from Buffalo after a successful season with the Bulls.
And it's just so cool that she's back home where she's the all-time leading scorer and rebounder. Her path has taken her there. She brought some of her players along with her from Buffalo. They're putting a lot of pieces together here early in this first season back at Syracuse.
Former coach in the Big Ten as well with Indiana. As an assistant at Michigan State. As Terry knocks down the shot, she can really just do it all.
Well, she does look to pass first, but she has that great mid-range game as well, so you have to respect that.
Syracuse at 5-1. There's a little fadeaway that goes down for Tisha Hyman, averaging about 14 points per game. Dangerous backcourt between her and Deasia Fair.
Yeah, she scored a double figures the last 4 games in a row, and it was well defended. She went right up over the top of Petrie.
Fair, 18 points in the first half of Syracuse's win over Bucknell last weekend. That is an offensive foul. Ball going back to Purdue. Excellent defense there from Harden.
Strong, another one of those transfers for Syracuse. She made her way from Wichita State. And they have gotten away with a little travel before the offensive foul. Probably would have rather had the travel call. But good standing the ground of the defense in good legal guarding position.
A lot of experience in this Purdue starting lineup. Madison Layden, step back 3 off the front of the rim. Fair hauls in the rebound. Hyman already with a bucket in this one. Lewis pulls up, showcasing her range there from about 18 feet out.
Lewis averages a double-double for Syracuse. She is a rebounding machine, and she can hit that mid-range.
Syracuse coming off the win over Bucknell. Purdue went 2-1 in the Cancun Challenge last week at a very warm Thanksgiving. And another bucket goes down for Hyman, so a hot shooting start for the Orange on the road here.
As I mentioned, they had a really good start in their game against Penn State. They were up on Penn State in the first quarter, 27-14. They didn't start so well against Bucknell, so they've got it back in this game.
See Harper get the buckets to go there. Katie Gerald feels much more confident going into the post this season. As Petrie hauls in the rebound. Back comes Janae Terry. And as we mentioned, already 2 non-point double-doubles. A 3 goes up from Harden. Air ball hauled in. Still plenty of time for the Boilermakers here.
You talked about that. Katie Gerald's more comfortable going inside. When you bring in Caitlin Harper, she's the WAC Player of the Year last year to come inside to anchor it down in the paint.
Came over from Cal Baptist. It's been an up-and-down pace so far. Here's Petrie in the open court. Petrie able to finish.
I think both these coaches want to see this. They want to see an up-and-down kind of game, try to score in transition before the defense gets set. Purdue loves to open up that offense, and it's not just the three-point shooting. We've seen a lot of the three-point shooting early, but they have options with Petrie driving, with Harper inside posting up as well.
And what else did Katie Gerald tell us? She loves Petrie going downhill like that. The first time we've seen it in transition there. And Petrie averaging about 18 points per game so far, leading the team in scoring after transferring from Rutgers. Speaking of a downhill drive, there's a nice floater up and in for Janae Terry.
Nobody stopped the ball. I mean, you know that Terry's going to pass the ball, and you're looking for who she's going to pass to, but somebody has to stop the ball. She went cleanly all the way to the front of the rim.
3 players getting set to check in here for Purdue on a mini run after going down 12-7. It's a 6-0 run for the Boilermakers. Now they're moving and grooving in transition again. It's Petrie again, but they got her on a carry. To their advantage to go on the 6-0 run.
That's a lot of fun. That's the way we want to start this game, right? Get up and down the court, see a lot of scoring. Maybe we'll see a little bit more defense as we get going, but I like the pace. I like how both teams are sharing the basketball. We see some ball screen action. We see some attacking the basket in transition. Good scoring so far. Now the defenses have to catch up a little bit.
Here's Janae Terry already with 3 assists in this one. There's 2 10-assist games. Nice fake from Petrie, diving to the rim. She finds another bucket.
That's what she does so well. Puts the ball on the floor, has that downhill game that she just gets to the rim. And nice move to get around both defenders, the helper and the primary.
Jumper from Hyman snaps what was an 8-0 run from Purdue. Back to a 1-point game. Dwindling stages of this opening quarter. It's been a fun opening quarter for Mackey. That ball saved, but then thrown over into the Cuse bench. There's another look at that aggression here from Petrie.
Well, you know that Purdue has the ability to hit the 3, but nice little ball fake, up and under move, just beautiful drive to the basket. And just, you could see, Petrie is just a natural scorer. Her first 3 years, she played for Bradley. She was a 2-time first team all Missouri Valley selection. Then she transfers to Rutgers last year, and then comes and really finds a fit here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for Big Ten fans to see her here at Purdue in this system.
And her offense has been talked about a lot for Petrie. Prior to Rutgers, she played for Bradley and multiple Missouri Valley Conference all-defensive teams as well. You look at her length, it's certainly going to be a factor in the Big Ten. Hyman looking for back-to-back jumpers. Couldn't get that one to go. Jayla Smith in the game now for Purdue. Couldn't corral the rebound. Cheyenne McEvans to the rack. May have been partially deflected by Walton. This is going back to Purdue.
Scramble by both teams, trying to reach in and get a hand on it. There's a good look at Woltman getting a hand on it, just rotating off her player on the block.
Petrie, another straight line drive. That's one thing you pointed out to me about her game so far, Brenda, before this one.
Well, and she loves to go right. I mean, you have to get it out of her right hand, and that's easier said than done the way she sets it up.
Petrie with 6 already. We're going to tie up down low.
And that's excellent help defense from Terry coming over on the block. But again, Petrie just sizing up the defense, gets around, just turns the corner, doesn't even have to make a move that time, just goes right hand. You got to, if you're the defender, try to take that right hand away from her. She gets a straight line drive there.
Second time Syracuse has played a Big Ten team this season as the finger roll goes in for Hyman. Their only loss came against Penn State. Abby Ellis in the game now. Started the last few seasons coming off the bench this year for Purdue, but still that consistent force. Nice pick and roll and an easy deuce for the Boilermakers as Walton gets it to go.
Beautiful footwork, good hands, makes herself available off the screen.
Georgia Woolley, oh, what a lefty hook with 2 players defending her.
Well, you could see why she was the MAC Freshman of the Year last year for Buffalo, and Coach Legette-Jack so happy to get her back and get her in a rhythm after that injury this summer.
She said that her parents are going to come all the way from Australia to visit as Walton goes up strong, couldn't finish. A couple of substitutions on both sides here coming in.
We talked about the abilities of Georgia Woolley, the 6-foot sophomore out of Australia. I mean, that is a tough shot over 2 defenders. Just a very talented offensive player, and she's the kind of player that kind of gets everybody in the right position. Coach Legette-Jack very excited about her.
Second effort there from Ava Learn. Able to give Purdue a 3-point edge, closing into the final 90 seconds of this opening quarter. On the final day of November. Get a foul called there. Look at this Syracuse roster. And several transfers, but a lot of players who played for Felicia Legette-Jack a season ago at Buffalo. Yes. So not necessarily new, brand new to playing with each other.
Well, yeah, some are new to playing with each other. 4 come over from Buffalo together, and then the transfers have got Wichita State, Asia Strong, coming over from Alabama A&M, Dariana Lewis, who is averaging a double-double. So still trying to put those parts and pieces together in her first season. But, I mean, it's such a benefit for Coach Legette-Jack that she has her entire coaching staff from Buffalo. She has 4 of her players. So even though a lot of them haven't played together before, there is a familiarity.
Walton slings it over to Smith. Another good drive from a Purdue player. That one didn't result in points. McEvans, crafty player, finds Hyman, who's been hot early. Air ball that time. Back comes Abby Ellis. Ellis working her way along the baseline. Through traffic finds Walton. Inside of the final minute now.
It's good transition defense for Syracuse there. They got back, they covered up, they helped on the drive. Much better team defense. And now they get the reward to hustle down the court with it.
Syracuse shooting 8 of 19 from the field so far in this game. Elena Rice ran into plenty of trouble down low, blocked by Ava Learn.
Yeah, not the best decision. There were 3 defenders there waiting for her.
Shot clock is off here for Purdue. They can take the final shot of the quarter. Ellis with 4 seconds, had it poked away. Ellis with 2, able to get it up, and got it to go. We'll see if they always a win at my book.
No doubt, no doubt. And, you know, their only loss down there was a 1-point loss to Florida State. What a game that was, up and down. But, you know, it's always fun to get a chance to go to one of those Thanksgiving tournaments where you get to go to the Caribbean and get in the water and enjoy the sand and just a little bit, and a lot of basketball. That's 3 games in 3 days, so that's a lot of basketball along with the fun.
They did well down there. Closed it out with a win over Oklahoma State. Trying to back that up at home before the Big Ten schedule begins for Purdue. Before that, a tough non-conference opponent in this Syracuse group. They're in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, first of our doubleheader tonight. on Big Ten Network. Wake Forest and Minnesota next.
So this is a team in Purdue, shattered the records last year. 3-pointers made, 3-pointers attempted, and they're shooting almost 39% from three this year, but they're 1 of 8 so far in this game. And so they're going inside. That shows the versatility of this offense. They can go inside. They can get that score.
Elena Rice couldn't hit the three. Rebound to Caitlin Harper, who's checked in for Ricky Waltman. Harper thought about the three. She can stretch the floor and knock that down.
Yeah, she's already made 3-pointers this season.
Another additional threat for this Purdue team this season that's so much more versatile offensively. 8 on the shot clock here for Ellis. Tried to go with the pick and roll pass, denied by the Orange. Back comes Dariana Lewis to Deasia Fair in the corner. Bit strong. She's been relatively quiet early. Credit the Purdue defense. Now they're looking to run. Ava Learn in transition gets that to go. 9-point edge.
And this team is sharing the basketball so well under Katie Geralds. Last year they were terrific. This year 18 assists per game, and they've already got 6 in this one.
In comparison to just 1 for Syracuse. Fair's calling for it. Instead it's Hyman knocking down the jumper.
Well, and that's the difference, Jason. Syracuse, a lot of one-on-one. You see the creation off the dribble with Hyman there. And Purdue is more about sharing the basketball, moving the ball, reversing it, taking it at the defense. Now, we've seen some one-on-one drives, yes, but a lot of the shots are set up from the assist, like that.
Nice pass down low. Assist number 7 for Purdue. Back to a 9-point edge. Ayla Smith on the finishing end there. Just a sophomore, bright future ahead for her. Former Indiana Miss Basketball, just like her head coach, Katie Geralds. 2 of the 10 in history to go to Purdue after winning Indiana Miss Basketball. Right on cue with Smith with the rebound. Ellis has been good early. Ran into trouble. She knocked down that shot to close out the opening quarter.
Yeah, good decision not to try to go up over Asia Strong.
Instead, a beautiful drive and back-to-back buckets for Jayla Smith.
And it just shows you what a smart player Abby Ellis is and has been throughout her career. She didn't force it. She goes into the teeth of the defense. They're there. She doesn't have it. She kicks the ball out, the nice reverse, and then the drive is there on the other side.
Hyman's been kind of the only consistent source of scoring at this end for the Orange. She has 10. Depth kind of a concern outside of this starting lineup for Syracuse. Hyman triggers again and knocks it down. She has 13 of their 23.
And she only has 3-pointers on the year, and 2 of those were in the first quarter against Penn State. So she's a streaky 3-point shooter, but when she's hitting, you have to make sure to get a hand up and get her off the 3-point line.
Really got the steal there. Good decisions all around on offense so far for Purdue.
Yeah, here's Ellis. She drives in. There's the defense. She kicks out, and then watch the ball reversal. The quick skip pass over the side. Nice ball fake, drive in. And just a willingness to share by this Purdue offense. It's the culture that Katie Geralds is creating and why this team is so excited to play for her. Everybody gets in on the act because they're all willing to make that extra pass.
Speaking of making the extra pass.
Well, last year they shattered records for 3-pointers made and attempted. And then this year, even more 3-pointers made per game. And then the sharing of the basketball displayed with the assists. Over 18 assists per game here in the early going. I know it's non-conference. They still have the Big Ten to face ahead of them. But that's how this team is putting together their image in the likeness of Katie Geralds.
Players love playing for her, and you can feel why instantly when you chat with Katie Geralds. They're getting a little press going here in the backcourt. Woolley breaks it. Rice up ahead to Asia Strong, who couldn't finish.
Well, they had the look. That's great work by Syracuse to get through the defense and find the shot. That's what you have to finish on the other end if you're Asia Strong.
Terry had that stripped by Hyman. Couldn't knock down the jumper to follow it up. Rare mistake in the backcourt there from Janae Terry. Here she comes looking to atone for that last mistake. Petrie a three, knocks it down.
Well, Petrie can put the ball on the floor and attack, but she also has the ability to hit the three. She's shooting 35% early in the season here, so just showing how dangerous she is at all levels.
Fits right into this Purdue offense from a season ago. Just adding on to it. Nice second effort there from Dariana Lewis.
Lewis is second in the ACC in rebounds per game and so active. She has so many qualities. Coach Leggett Jack said to us that you just can't teach. Just has that instinctive knack to go get the rebound.
Lewis now battling down low with Harper, and Lewis was able to swat that away.
In transition that we missed last year. And I'm giving her free range. She takes a lot of shots, but you can see that she can get to the rim. And then the last time when they're laying off her just a little bit, she's able to raise up and hit the three as well. She only averaged 8 points a game last year for Rutgers, and this system just fits her so much better to allow her to get out and run.
It's interesting to see how much more comfortable she looks this year. Speaking of comfort, Janae Terry gets to the rim and draws the foul. Heading to the line here.
Terry has that ability to as well, to get to the rim, to make things happen. She's usually got her head on a swivel and trying to find players around her. I mean, it's just remarkable that she's already had 2 double-doubles this year, and it's not in points. It's in rebounds and assists. She's a point guard, and she's getting 10 rebounds. You would expect the 10 assists. She's one of the top in the country in that, but she's getting her double-doubles in assists and rebounds just because she just goes and gets the basketball and has throughout her career.
Right now, you look around the Big Ten. Nebraska's Alexis Markowski is the only player who averages more rebounds than Janae Terry. But like you mentioned, Alexis Markowski is a legitimate 6'3" forward center, whereas Terry, she'll tell you she's 5'11". She told us went to the shoot around today, she's 6 foot. But Katie Gerald will tell you, no, she's about 5'9".
But she just has that nose for the ball and that love of the game. Just the passion to go and get the basketball. And you have to want to be a rebounder. And we talked about it over the years. It's just such a innate quality. And there Terry gets mixed up.
Favor in the back a bit as she heads off. Fortunate to see a smile on her face there. Purdue now out of the inbounds.
I know, to me, that kind of play, it could be reviewed for an intentional foul because she came under. That's an unnecessary move to come under somebody like that when they're up in the air. I'm surprised the officials didn't take a look at that.
Terry now being looked at by Purdue trainer Jessica Lipsett over on the sideline. The Syracuse team has stalled a bit offensively in the second quarter. That will be Purdue basketball. A couple of substitutions checking in. Deasia Fair comes back in for Syracuse. Jayla Smith in for Purdue. There is Janae Terry. Jessica Lipsett, Purdue trainer. Purdue been much more efficient offensively than Syracuse in this quarter. Another pretty drive from Petrie.
Petrie says, you're going to stop me from going right? I'll show you I can go to the left. Nice reaction to the defense there.
She's been around for a minute, has a versatile skill set. She dips into it here.
Well, she's been a scorer throughout her career, whether it was Bradley those first 3 years or now in this her 5th season. But see how she is being directed to the left. She is being forced to the left by McEvans there. And basically McEvans is saying, prove to me you can go left. And Petrie did just that.
Ricky Waltman also back in now for Purdue. Georgia Woolley at the line for Cuse. Petrie kicks it out. Cassidy Harden knocked down a three earlier. Smith trying to get one herself. Around and out. That'll stick with Purdue. Well, for the biggest Purdue experience, there's no plus like home. The Big Ten Plus app powered by Big Ten Network. Your favorite Boilermakers content, streaming and on demand, plus the iconic games and exclusive content. Only on the Big Ten Plus app. Download and subscribe now.
What a nice cut. That is a fantastic job of getting in the vision of the passer. Jayla Smith staying active away from the ball.
Syracuse answers on the opposite end.
Beautiful move by Strong on the other end as well. And you can't get away with too many of those cross-court passes against a quick defense, and that's good anticipation by Fair to jump in.
Sixth turnover for Purdue.
You know, Fair has been quiet. Purdue has defended her well. She only has 3 points in this game, and she's averaging just right at 19 points a game for Syracuse.
Madison Layden hauls that in. Layden led the team in scoring a season ago. Hasn't really needed to do that this year because of all the weapons around her. This game in a prime example so far with Petrie getting involved, Jayla Smith getting involved.
Well, you have two fifth-year transfers in Petrie and Harper that have added. Just a lot of options for Purdue. And then you have Jayla Smith, the sophomore. She is away from the ball. And just watch her. She recognizes there's a double team. I can flash into this open spot and comes and gets the basketball. That is what you're supposed to do. When your teammates are trapped and in trouble, you flash to them. She found the open spot. Beautiful movement away from the basketball by Jayla Smith.
Fair continues to be relatively quiet in this game. She's got just 3 points in 16 minutes. Had 18 points in the opening half for Syracuse in their last game against Bucknell.
Ellis just ripped it away. Look at that pass. Nice little alley-oop to set up Smith. What a nice pass.
Smith up to 8 points on the night now. Lead is up to 18, a game high.
There's that spark from Abby Ellis. She gets the steal. She ignites this break. Little nice fake. Beautiful finish. Boy, everything going well. You could just see the unselfish play by every player on this team and how it's contributing to Purdue playing so well.
9 different players have scored for Purdue as that bucket goes for Cuse. The same story as their last win against Oklahoma State. 9 different players scored in that game. But a travel called on Waltman.
So Abby Ellis now coming off the bench after starting the first 3 years. So scrappy, so energized, and she passes, and then look at the oop over the top from Harden to set up Smith. What a nice pass.
They told us they were more confident going down low. We're seeing they can go kind of down low and up high.
You know, and everybody thinks that Harden's going to shoot the three, right? Most of her shot attempts are three, and all she does is just raise up and shares it with her teammate. I mean, that's why Harden came back. She wants this team to go to the NCAA tournament. She never has, and she deferred a year of medical school to come back, and she wants to do anything she can for this team to win and make it to the NCAA tournament this year.
Here she is right on cue in the corner. Didn't quite get that to drop. Shot clock is off for Syracuse. There are just 3 points in this half, and Purdue keeps it that way. From Layden, off the front of the rim to close out.
Alley-oop over the top to Jayla Smith. What a beautiful pass. What a beautiful tip in. And 36 points in the paint for Katie Gerald's team. Just a reflection of how well they move the basketball, how they've gotten out in transition. They also have 10 assists in the first half.
That consistent theme of this being a more versatile Purdue offense this year. The numbers telling you how much more confident they are to go down low. As there's a foul called on the Boilermakers. Looks like they got Caitlin Harper. State Farm State of Success is brought to you by State Farm. Have a peek at these numbers. Points in the paint really jumping out.
And the points in the paint we've already talked about. They're all over the boards right now. They're getting out in transition. The bench points And that's from Jayla Smith coming off the bench, Abby Ellis, Ricky Woltman as well coming in, and just Katie Gerald's has a lot of options right now as they continue to prepare here in non-conference play to meet the gauntlet that they will meet in Big Ten play.
18-0 in that bench point category favoring Purdue. Abby Ellis and Jayla Smith have played a key role there. More good ball movement. Alicia Petrie 3. Bit strong.
It's good to see Janae Terry back on the court after she went down in a heap in the first half when she had a player basically come under her when she was up in the air rebounding. And it's good to see her back on the court.
Making her 40th start in a Purdue uniform tonight. Means so much to this roster. She'll mean a lot when Big Ten play starts soon for Purdue. Again, the offense for Syracuse has been tough to find outside of Tisha Hyman, who leads them with 13 points in 21 minutes.
Yeah,
you really have.
Purdue has done a nice job of keeping Fair in front and not allowing her to drive and create. She's coming off her season high 25 points against Bucknell, and she has really been silenced today.
Just 1 for 8 shooting, Deasia Fair, and this one as Petrie couldn't get the bucket to go. There's a backcourt miscue for the Orange. That's something they can afford right now. There's Felicia Leggett-Jack back at her alma mater. Second time they faced the Big Ten team this season, lost to Penn State. That's the only loss on their record. Petrie has loved the drives, especially with that right hand in this game.
Dribbling through defenders, changing directions, going on the right side, hard to the rim, just finding her way to the basket.
Leading all scorers with 17 points now. Long 3 from Asia Strong, a much-needed bucket for Syracuse.
She just had 3 3-pointers on the year coming into this game, so that's a big shot for Syracuse.
Petrie, beautiful cut off the pretty pass from you-know-who, Janae Terry.
Terry setting up the shot. We've seen the bench come in and score in a lot of different ways. Just a lot of different contributors right now for Purdue.
Janae Terry had a couple of triple-doubles last season as there's a turnover for Purdue. Fair to Hyman, pull up in transition goes. Now down on the baseline at that same end where Terry went down in the first half is Cassidy Harden. Tech, it's all tomorrow on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Brenda, you're heading to East Lansing after this one.
Yes, I'm going to stay here tonight and drive to East Lansing in the morning. But here's what the officials were looking at the media timeout. Lewis under the basket as Harden is blocking her out, brings down her elbow across. And although I think that might rise to the level of unnecessary and excessive, the officials did not see it that way, and so no foul was called.
They deemed it as not excessive. Syracuse with the ball back now. Tisha Hyman. Too tough to fight through Piglet Harper there. And back comes Janae Terry.
You know, when you have a player like Janae Terry that's so good in transition at getting the ball to players, you see Purdue go down the court and space out and give her a lot of options. That time Syracuse covered it up pretty well, but look how patient this Purdue team is and letting that shot clock wind down. They passed the ball around. They looked at their options until Petrie creates on her own.
It really has been beautiful, patient offense. And like to your point there, a lot of space on the floor.
Yeah, it's all opened up. That's why there's room for Petrie to make those drives, because you have so many three-point shooters out around the arc.
11 assists for Purdue to just 5 for Syracuse. Shot clock is down to 6 for the Orange. Hyman bottled up by Petrie. Nice defense from Laisha Petrie. Now she gets the rebound. Took the spill.
Katie Gerald to both Carolyn Peck and Lindsay Whalen. Carolyn Peck, of course, leading this Purdue Boilermaker program to the title in '99 with Stephanie White, Yukari Figs. That was out in San Jose, California. Were you there, Jason?
I know you were.
Yeah,
I
was there when Stephanie White sprained her ankle and had to be taken off the court, and all of the drama, would they be able to win? And they did. And congratulations to Carolyn Peck. And not only that, but throughout her career as a broadcaster and as a WNBA coach and an advocate. And of course, Lindsay Whalen taking Minnesota to the Final Four, and the amazing career she had with the Minnesota Lynx and with USA Basketball, and just two fine representatives of the Big Ten in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame.
So cool to see that banner hanging up behind us. I get to work with Steph White for the first time this past summer, another really cool Purdue alum.
Yeah, Stephanie was part of that. And now she is the new head coach for the Connecticut Sun, as well as being a colleague of ours here on Big Ten Network.
This Purdue team has looked so patient, so fluid today. Another prime example on this possession. That shot came up just short from Janae Terry, but good ball movement again.
In the opening moments of this game, I think we went to the first media timeout, and I believe it was 13-12, or there was a lot of scoring and up and down, and we said the offense was unhinged and the defense needed to catch up. Well, Purdue has played good defense, keeping this Syracuse squad in front, holding them to 32% from the floor, not allowing them to drive and create. They're so good at creating off the bounce, and Purdue has just done a nice job as a team keeping them in front.
What I've found interesting about this end of the floor for Katie Gerald's team, they've only knocked down 2 threes, but they've really, again, to her point, feel like they can get it done in different ways this season and don't need to utilize the 3 as often. 42 points in the paint tonight to just 14 for Syracuse. Incredible number. They go to the paint again. Couple of whistles. Looks like we do have 2 free throws coming up for Harper.
Very rare for Syracuse to foul. They have one of the lowest foul rates in the country, and just really don't make a lot of mistakes putting their opponent to the free throw line. But this time, Caitlin Harper is able to draw the foul.
Well, Purdue fans have a big football game this weekend. Saturday Big Ten Tailgate comes to you live from Indy for 2 full hours to set the scene for the Big Ten Football Championship game between the Boilermakers and the Wolverines. Big Ten Tailgate presented by TIAA. Saturday at 2 Eastern on Big Ten Network. Purdue trying to pull off the upset over Michigan in Indy.
That's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, they're ready. They are ready around here, that passionate fan base. On the note of football, by the way, Katie Gerald was not a fan of my hoodie at Shooter.
She gave it to you. You happen to be wearing a hoodie of a team that she does not care for. She and I are both Kansas City Chiefs fans, and I don't even know if we want to mention the hoodie that you are wearing.
I'm a Bengals fan, and our teams collide this week. Katie Gerald was not happy with me, but she was very cordial with us at the same time.
Well, yeah, she wouldn't even fist bump.
No, she wouldn't.
I mean, she's been exchanging texts with Andy Reid, the head coach for the Chiefs, so why would she fist bump you with a Bengals hoodie on? I mean,
she is an avid Chiefs fan. She loves that group. Big Andy Reid fan. A couple of really good coaches.
It was fun to talk to her at shoot-around, and we appreciate both coaches spending time with us at their shoot-arounds today, help us prepare for this game. It's great to be here in person after so much time when it was so unsettled around the country, and so it's nice to be here in person and be able to talk to those coaches and get some of their insight to prepare for these games.
Done such a good job on this end. This Purdue team, you can tell, is very well coached. Petrie, excellent denial, and the rip away.
And that was difficult to do, getting around in position to take that ball.
Ellis, corner 3. It's the one aspect of the game that hasn't maybe gone as planned for Purdue. Just 2 of 14 from deep, but they made up for it on this end. Another block, outlet feed, Jayla Smith in transition.
end to end so quickly for this Purdue team. And you're right. I mean, it's kind of surprising. This is a team in Purdue that makes over 8 3-pointers per game and smashed their records for makes and attempts from three last year. But they haven't gotten it going from three-point range, and it hasn't mattered. Their defense has been good, really denying Syracuse. Just great position by Terry, just rips it away and then pushes the break, ignites the break. She sees Smith out in front. Smith jets out of there and is able to score with no problem.
Hyman at the free throw line. Now 21 bench points after the last bucket for Jayla Smith on the Purdue side. Syracuse has Yale next. Mentioned the Big Ten slate getting started soon for Purdue. We'll have Michigan State next Monday.
Now the Syracuse defense did what they were trying to do, force a turnover there. They go and trap the basketball, and Petrie did not show much patience that time.
This Purdue roster has 6 different players classified as seniors, tied for most of the Big Ten. There's a three that goes down for Strong.
And what a nice addition for Syracuse, the Wichita State transfer. When she went in the transfer portal, Felicia Leggett-Jack already had an eye on her stats and what she could do, and was the first person to call her. And from what we understand, a lot of schools called her, and she was impressed that Coach Leggett-Jack was the first and decided to go to Syracuse to help try to rebuild this program.
And they've kind of rebuilt that front court with Dariana Lewis, also coming over from Alabama A&M. That bucket waved off. Looks like we got another foul called on the Orange. So Waltman will head to the free throw line.
I mean, you've got a couple of situations here where the coaches on each sideline are both very heralded players from each of their schools. Of course, the all-time leading rebounder and scorer, Felicia Leggett-Jack at Syracuse, and now finally back on her sideline, and Katie Gerald's All-American at Purdue. So it's fun to see them on the sidelines of their respective schools where they were such stars in their playing days.
Going to tie up on the baseline here. You mentioned have her back.
There's Barb Jacobs, her coach, who has meant so much to women's basketball. And, you know, Felicia's jersey was retired. She's the first woman to have, and in their entire Syracuse athletic department history, the first woman to have her jersey retired. And, of course, Katie Gerald is an All-American here at Purdue. She has her jersey up in the rafters as well. And just so much, it means so much to both of these women to be at their alma maters guiding these programs.
Nice finish down low. You mentioned the addition of Asia Strong. She's playing well in this third quarter. Quick feed the opposite way, and Jayla Smith continues to go on a tear in this ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Yeah, Syracuse has to do a better job of getting back in transition. Just too many easy shots for Purdue.
Orange with a quick answer. 46 points in the paint for Purdue tonight. Something they'll definitely be able to build upon moving forward. Poise of Janae Terry walking that baseline. Pass didn't quite squeak through. That'll lead to a tie-up.
You know, Terry not only is great with her assists, typically she has a 3.6 assist to turnover ratio, so that's kind of rare for her as she drove down on the baseline and got herself into some traffic to throw that ball into trouble, and that's exactly what she did. Typically takes much better care of the basketball than that. Strong's feeling it.
That's a heat check for her. Instead, Walton in the rebounds. Now Purdue looking to push again. Jayla Smith shovels it down low to Ava Learn. And another foul called here. This Purdue group with the 10-win jump a season ago, trying to build on that this year. Don't forget Monday, the Boilermakers tip off the conference slate when they head to East Lansing to battle the Spartans. Coverage begins Monday at 7 Eastern on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Be a good one in East Lansing. You'll get a look at that Michigan State team tomorrow night.
Yeah, looking forward to that in this Big Ten ACC Challenge as they'll face Nell Fortner's team, also a former Purdue coach at Georgia Tech, and also a former colleague of mine on the television sidelines, along with Carolyn Peck, who we were talking about earlier. So anyway, that Michigan State Georgia Tech game, that should be a good one in East Lansing tomorrow evening.
From the Van Langen, Jason Ross Jr. with you from Mackey. Been a fun atmosphere and a fun night for Purdue fans so far. The Asia Fair gets a much-needed bucket to go for Syracuse.
Yeah, that's just
the way they did in their last game against Bucknell. Purdue hasn't let up. She's taken really a stranglehold on this game in the second quarter. Followed up with an excellent third that's nearing the final minute now. Ball movement has been a primary theme of this lead. Do get a travel called here. 15th turnover of the night for Purdue.
So this trapping defense in the half court has rattled Purdue on a few possessions. You saw they were moving the ball quickly back and forth, but then the turnover, they had the turnover earlier out of the trap. So Syracuse is accomplishing what it wants to, trying to disrupt what has been a very smooth offense for Purdue all night.
Purdue 21-2 under Katie Geralds when taking a lead into the fourth quarter. Fair, a little double clutch, able to draw a foul. See how athletic her game is. One of the players that came from Buffalo over with head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack.
Well, she was an AP All-American honorable mention at Buffalo last year under Coach Leggett-Jack, and is going to be leading this team. And we mentioned in this broadcast earlier, 4 players transferred over from Buffalo and several other transfers as they try to piece things back together. And yeah, I really enjoyed talking to Felicia today, and she said there are wins and there are lessons. There are times that you win on the scoreboard, but what if we erase that loser word? So often these young people get put in such difficult situations. What if we said there are wins and there are lessons? There are times to learn, and just look at it that way. It would be such a different way to approach how we could learn and move on and be better.
I agree with you. That was definitely my favorite quote from her. There are wins and there are lessons, not losses. Waltman got it to go with 10 seconds left in this third quarter. 18-point edge for Purdue. The largest lead has been 21. Alicia Strong may have been a little over anxious there with the steps. Just 0.9 left on this clock for Purdue. I try to get a shot off here.
This is why you practice all those half-court shots every day at the end of shoot-around, right?
Yep, it was fun earlier. They've already knocked down one at the buzzer to end the quarter, and this one couldn't quite do it there.
In the top 25, there are some great matchups up and down the line. I'm really looking forward to what's happening later on with Ohio State and Louisville matching up, and then a couple of good ones tomorrow as well. North Carolina, Indiana facing off Maryland and Notre Dame. I'm looking forward to that Georgia Tech, Michigan State game as well. There are just some really intriguing matchups all the way in this challenge.
Really excited to watch Ohio State with you on Sunday in New Jersey when they take on Rutgers on Big Ten Network. Conference matchup there for that Buckeye team that looks like could have a big season ahead of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a special day at Rutgers as they're going to be dedicating the court in honor of Vivian Stringer. So honored to be there on Sunday for that.
Well, that coverage for you at noon Eastern time on Sunday. Meanwhile, Purdue and Syracuse going head-to-head in the first of our ACC Big Ten Challenge doubleheader tonight on Big Ten Network. Wake Forest and Minnesota to follow. Sloan Martin, Megan McEwen on the call for that one. This Purdue team trying to close out the game on a high note. Just up 15, though, here, so still have to take care of business in this final quarter of action. They've led by as much as 21 tonight. Ellis called for a travel. Those turnovers kind of starting to creep into this second half for Purdue, keeping the door open a bit for Syracuse.
Yeah, this is a situation where Purdue had the 18-point lead, as you mentioned, at halftime, and Syracuse has tightened up a little bit, throwing some trapping defense, trying to make it a little more difficult. Purdue just a little bit sloppy with their footwork and ball handling.
Kyra Wood, the rebound, second opportunity here for Syracuse. Bears floater. Makes it a 13-point game. Janae Terry getting set to check back in, along with Cassidy Harden and Caitlin Harper. So plenty of experience coming back on the floor for Purdue in a second. Ellis for three. They've continued to struggle from deep, just 2 of 15 now from long range.
Yeah, that was a pretty good look for Ellis, too. So just haven't been able to get that rhythm.
Now Ellis running the floor. Seaman is back. Ellis opts to drop it off for Petrie.
That's got to be at 3 seconds. Yeah, that is great transition defense for Syracuse. They hustled back. They didn't allow Ellis to get a clean look. They bottle up Petrie as Ellis doesn't have anywhere to go with it. So Petrie doesn't have anywhere to go with it. That's just all orange in the lane. What great transition defense on a, when you've seen Purdue turning the...
A good friend of ours. And he is in the building. There's Q. His son, now an assistant coach on the Syracuse staff. He was on the Buffalo staff prior to that. So again, plenty of Big Ten Network representation all around.
Q, the vice president of studio production, does so much behind the scenes for Big Ten Network, and fun to see him here and see his son on that staff for Syracuse that was part of the Buffalo staff that came over as Coach Leggett Jack brought her whole staff over with her, as well as her old Syracuse teammate Sue Ludwig, who joined.
Several players, including Deasia Fair, came over from Buffalo. And looks like she'll get to the free throw line here. Trying to make it an 11-point game. 7:26 to go in this fourth quarter.
When we talked to Coach Leggett Jack, she said that we will play hard. And we talked about earlier how she said there are wins and there are lessons. Well, they learned from that Penn State game because things just kind of became unraveled down the stretch as Penn State outscored them in the fourth quarter. And they have learned as they've come together game after game to stick together even when things aren't going well, to find a way. And Fair was stuck on 3 points for a long time in this game, and she's come back in and gotten herself to double digits. But I think it's really been fueled by the Syracuse defense.
They've really tightened up, and now a 7-0 run for the Orange. Closest they've been since the opening half. Terry sneaks the pass down low. Nice extra pass. Found Petrie. Good job from Madison late in there. Veterans again hooking up.
And it's been that zone defense that has caused some problems for Purdue, but that time they found a way through it.
Deasia Fair, who was very quiet in that opening half, is now in the double figures. She has 14 points. Started just 2 of 10 from the field. And it's a 10-point game. Petrie couldn't get back-to-back points there. This will stick with Purdue.
Purdue has only scored 2 points in this quarter, but Syracuse has scored 10 as they have found some momentum, and Fair stepping into a 3-point shot there. And that matchup zone, that there are places in it that there are openings, and then there are times when you're trapped, and it's a little unnerving where players are coming at you in that zone, and there's an example of it.
The block from Lewis and a bucket at the opposite end from Tisha Hyman. She's going to the line for one more. The Syracuse team back within single digits on an extended run.
They're getting their energy from the defense, and Petrie, who was able to drive to the rim at will in the first half, gets her shot blocked by Lewis, and then it turns into transition basket for Syracuse.
Purdue trying to stem the tide. Janae Terry says they'll slow it down a little bit here. 12-2 run for Syracuse. Harden on the drive. Worked on that a lot in the summer. Couldn't finish there. And back comes Fairs. The Syracuse team looks to pull even closer. McEvans shoveled it down low. Nice denial from Layden.
Ignites the break, and Syracuse just generating so much energy off their defense right now that has gotten them into this ball game.
They forced a lot of Purdue turnovers tonight. Now they're turning them into points. Rebound for Janae Terry. Purdue trying to go back up double digits here. Layden coughed it up. Purdue sideline wanted a foul. Instead, another turnover goes in the books for Katie Gerald's team.
Now, Katie Gerald's team this year is averaging 13 turnovers a game. They're taking very good care of the ball, and they've got 19 turnovers. They had 8 at halftime, so they have 11 here in the second half, and it's just the disruption from the Syracuse defense.
Hyman's been the go-to scorer for the Orange. Didn't finish for DePetrie. Sari pushing the pace. Harden for three. Still can't find the range from there. Felicia Leggett-Jack told us we're not going to back down. They're playing 100% right now, as she said they would. Never gave up in this one.
Just 2 3-pointers for this Purdue squad that shoots 38% from 3 and makes over 8 from three-point range typically. And the defense by Syracuse has lifted them, and the extra effort. You can see the 14-2 run now. Lewis, so active on the board, made that happen.
Down to a 6-point game.
She is on the verge of another double-double. She's got 3 this year. She's got 9 points and 10 rebounds.
Petrie draws a foul.
Now remember that technical foul that was called on Felicia Leggett-Jack earlier, and I think it has lit a fire with her team because they have continued to play with high energy. Look at these numbers, the 17 field goal attempts and 11 turnovers for the Boilermakers here in the second half, and just that's not what has made them successful here in non-conference play or in the first half of this game.
No field goals in nearly 3 minutes for Purdue. That second free throw off the mark there for Petrie. Got a 1 to drop. Inside of the final 5 minutes now in this fourth quarter. Syracuse finding their game at the right time. Specifically, De'Asia Fair, their leading scorer, going to go to the line here for 2 more free throws.
Well, Fair is so good at creating off the bounce, and I mentioned it earlier. Early in this game, Purdue was keeping her in front. They were keeping the ball out of her hands, and when she got it, they were not allowing her to drive. But you can see the difference. 3 points in the first half, 11 points here in the second, and she has found creases and created with the dribble, which is really what she does so well.
That's 14 points now. Get all the news and highlights from around the conference on the big show tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network.
When we talked to Coach Leggett-Jack about Fair and what makes her special, and she said it's her wide eyes when you're coaching her. She is a ferocious learner. Well, she has learned what wasn't working in the first half and the first 3 quarters of this game, and she has turned it into positive.
Ellis with plenty of space for 3, and they finally get one to rattle down.
Huge shot for Ellis, who has been so efficient this season, but what an answer from Asia Strong.
Comes right back and makes it a 5-point game.
Asia Strong has made 3 3-pointers all year coming into this game in 6 games. She's made 3 3-pointers tonight.
And they brought Laisha Petrie in. They said she's going to be a player when we need a bucket, she can go out and find it. They needed one there, and she got it for them. Another 3 hoisted by the Orange. Strong couldn't get that to drop.
And I'm not sure that's the person that you want shooting the 3 if you're Syracuse. Lewis.
Yeah, check that, Lewis.
0 for 1 from 3-point range on the year. Give the ball to Strong right now. She's feeling it. Give it to Fair.
If you're a Purdue fan, you want it in the hands of Laisha Petrie. Gets the lead back up to 9.
Big shot. Petrie again showing her versatility, the ability to get to the rim, that time taking what the defense gave her from the perimeter.
Here's Strong, uses glass that time. Another 3 for Strong.
4 3-pointers. 4 3-pointers from Strong.
4 or 5 from deep. She has 18 points. And she has willed Syracuse to stay in this game. Their foul called here, count that bucket, and Laisha Petrie's going to the line for one more. The big names really stepping up now.
Yeah, Petrie is putting this team on her back right now and making it happen, where the Syracuse defense was causing some problems for Purdue and for Petrie earlier. She was throwing the ball away, was out of sorts, and you can see the fire right now because she has been able to put it together and stretch this out for Purdue.
30 points now for Petrie. Another 3. That ball tapped away out of the grasp of Terry, and the 3 hoisted by Fair. Got her own offensive rebounds. And then an offensive foul called here. It's going back to Purdue.
That's close. You can see how Fair's kind of stepping out to try to clear some space. The thing is, she didn't really need to. I mean, she just needed to dribble out of it toward the rim there. She didn't need to do that, but that was awfully close.
They go to Harper down low. Count that plus a foul.
You're seeing a couple of the transfers that have come into this Purdue program in Petrie and as well as Harper. And Harper, the WAC player of the year last year at Cal Baptist. She is really good with her footwork and positioning and angles, and you saw it there on display.
Harper checks out. Learn comes in. Excellent response from Purdue after Syracuse pulled within 6. Now Purdue back up 12. On a 6-0 run. Another foul called there.
I think it just dribbled off the foot of Hyman.
That'll give it right back to Purdue.
Now, things were not looking good for Purdue in a stretch there. They weren't taking very good care of the ball. Their shots weren't falling. Syracuse was being energized by their defense, but the answer, and mostly in the hands of Laisha Petrie, through this stretch. And there she is again.
31 points tonight for Petrie. We'll see why they were so excited about bringing her in from Rutgers. 13 of 21 from the field. Scored in a multitude of ways tonight. About as efficient of a performance as you can piece together in 29 minutes of action. 5 shy of that career high.
Well, Katie Gerald's talked about the fact that Lasia Petrie provides something that we just didn't have last year. We didn't have that downhill ability. She gives us something in transition that we missed last year. And then you look at what Caitlin Harper brings at 6'2", and the good footwork and angles that she has inside. And those two fifth-year transfers really adding to what Purdue could do. Florida State, a 1-point loss in Cancun, and you can see the success overall in Big Ten play, in non-conference play, how well Big Ten teams have done. We've already talked about the 5 in the top 25, 3 in the top 10. You know, and if you're Purdue and you're
one last gasp for Syracuse down the stretch here. Valiant effort for the Orange tonight. Trailed by as much as 21 at one point. Game as close as 6. Excellent response, though, from Purdue over the last couple of minutes. Keisha Hyman on a second effort. Makes it a single-digit game again, while Purdue looking for a clean inbounds.
And that's what these challenge games are about. When you have Big Ten and ACC teams going against one another, the battles that they both have to have in conference, they're preparing for that. And this kind of game prepares both teams. And Purdue, you don't get a lot by just cruising like they did in the first half. It feels good, but when you're challenged and you have to meet that challenge, those are the times of growth for a team like Purdue that is also coming together in the second year under Katie Gerald's.
Feels good for Purdue to have to, I think maybe have to battle through something like that as you get close to conference play, where you're going to have your ups and downs, and it's about how you respond to those waves.
Yeah, and they're matching the athleticism that Syracuse is bringing, the different defenses that they've seen, the different ways that Syracuse has scored on the other end. Katie Gerald's can take so many things from this game to go back to the film room and really break it down, what we could have done better against this trapping defense, what we could have done better when we drove in and there was a secondary defender there, and just a lot of things by playing this level of competition in non-conference play that benefits your team going forward.
9 different players in the score sheet tonight for Purdue. Inside of the final minute now. Adjusted well after the tough start from three-point range. This Purdue offense now on this end just trying to finish out clean. In Minnesota, Wake Forest coming up next on Big Ten Network. Second of our ACC Big Ten Challenge doubleheader. Syracuse looking for a quick bucket. Woolley couldn't get the roll. Terry the rebound. She's going to secure a lot of those this season. Up to Abby Ellis. Opts to dribble it back out. And Syracuse will foul here.
Syracuse foul, number 4, Tisha Lemon, her second.
Abby Ellis coming off the bench this season has seamlessly adjusted right into that role. 3 straight games in double figures entering tonight.
Well, what's interesting to me is when we talked to Katie Gerald's about it, it wasn't supposed to necessarily be that way. It's because Abby Ellis had an injury in non-conference play, so she didn't start in that first game, and Katie Gerald's admitted to us, I'm very superstitious, so we just...
And she's got a fun game to watch offensively and defensively with her length. We need to see her in Big Ten play this season. Right now she's looking to dribble it out. Purdue team that battled the ups and downs of this night. Syracuse made their run, but some resilience on display from Purdue on the home floor in this ACC Big Ten Challenge to pick up their 7th win of the season, improve to 5-0 at home, and the home fans love it.